Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm so excited again to be here. So, just giving you a second to arrive, and I have Coach Kristen here. Kristen, welcome. Thank you for being with us today. Can you hear me?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes. Is there a
Yes.
delay? Is there a delay? Maybe there's a delay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being
No,
here. So, I just wanted to start by saying,
no delay for me.
okay, I am getting a delay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just going to see if I could improve this. Can you hear me better now? Kristen, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
can hear you. I can hear you. Yep.
It's still freezing for some reason. Your videos are freezing. If you have any other windows open, you might want to close, Kristen. That video is freezing whenever it comes up.
Oh,
Try and see if you can close some of the windows opened on your computer. I know
yep.
it's annoying.
It's just this one window.
Perfect. Okay, don't close that one. We want you here, so don't close this one. Okay, awesome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you. That's technology, right? Sometimes we have to fix the internet. Sometimes, things are not working. That's okay. We're still in flow and calm. So, Kristen, I want to talk to you something very important today. People are saying they're so exhausted. Sometimes we see people, or I say to myself, I'm unmotivated, or I feel like I'm stuck, right? Do you hear that? A lot of
Yeah.
people are saying these things nowadays.
Yes, for sure. I think they're definitely feeling stuck but I think it's honestly just a misread signal. Um,
That's what we're going to talk about today, right? How to look at this as not a lack of energy, but blocked energy, right?
Yeah. I think I hear it all the time. People say I'm tired or I'm unmotivated. Yep.
So when energy stays blocked for long enough, it turns into an identity, right? So today isn't about motivation, it's about understanding what actually is happening in your system. So Kristen is here so that she can help us with this as well. But Kristen, before we get started, on this show, we don't just get started because we're not here. How about yourself? Do you feel like you're here yet?
Am I here?
Here and now. Are you here and now, or are you thinking
Oh,
about your past or future, or where are you right now?
oh yes. I am present and in the moment for sure.
Okay, but I'm not though, because I like to think about my past sometimes. I don't know about you guys listening too. How about you? How many times have you thought about your past? Did you think about your past today, Kristen? Anytime along?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for
Right?
sure. I can definitely catch myself, thinking about my schedule, what I need to get done. Yeah.
So when we're thinking about the past, what happens is we cannot be here and now, which means that we're spending a lot of energy and time over there. No wonder today's topic is about unmotivated. Yeah, I can appear unmotivated in now and here if I'm stuck in the past thinking about stories that I'm playing and saying I should have done this, I could have done this, I shouldn't have said that. All of these stories replay. I wish to say they're good things, but most of the time the things we're playing are the ones that we're beating ourselves up about something, right? So what can we do with these lessons? What do you normally do with these things that the past things that you go and dwell on? Kristen, what do you normally do with them? Do you just go and say, okay, let's party here, or what do you do with it?
Well, if I have a lot of thoughts circulating in my head, I try and honestly just pause because I just feel like, it's going too fast in my head. I need to calm down.
First of all, yes.
So,
And then second of
um,
all, we have to really let it go because it's useless, right?
hmm,
Isn't it useless? It's waste of time. It's waste of energy. It's not letting me to be here to do anything about it, which just keeps me almost hostage, almost paralyzed from doing what I need to do. So only thing we can take from it is the lessons. Anything more than that is waste of time. So why don't we just take the lessons? Because past gives us so much information about ourselves, others. Why don't we take that as lessons and just let the past go? Can we all agree to let the past go?
Yes.
Now, this is not a
Yes.
one-time thing, right? This is going to be a constant thing you have to tell your brain, because you own the brain. It doesn't own you. So when you know that secret, you now own the brain, you can tell the brain to let go of the past. Let's go of the past, because I got to be here and now, because in this moment, here and now is where I can learn, where I can live, and where I can lead myself and lead others. And if I'm not here and now, what am I doing? Either in the past. Where else do we go, Kristen? We
The
go to the
future.
Oh, we love to go to the future. And we love to do what in the future?
Oh, think about tomorrow or the next day or the whole year ahead of
Yeah,
us.
but when we're thinking about it, what are we doing? Do we let it be like blessed, or do we usually take the past and say, you know what? I really don't want that to happen because it happened in the past and I didn't really like it. So, you know how many times we bring the past when we're planning the future?
Yes, a
So
lot.
it's on.
Because you
Yeah, it's
think
almost
about
like
all the
driving.
mistakes.
Yeah, and it's almost like driving a car with a muddy windshield.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
want to go somewhere in the future, but I'm just going to put all the mud from the past, all the garbage from the past, and then I'm going to view through that and I'm going to plan my future. Doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make sense when we talk about it like that, but a lot of the time that's what our brain is doing, and we'll allow our brain to do that to us. So what can we do with the future? We know future is possible for us. That's one thing we know, right? Tomorrow will come. We know that, right? So
Yep.
why don't we just bless it and release it so that it can come to us? The beautiful future can come to us. We can always set intention, but we cannot produce the future. When we try to produce the future, we are again wasting a lot of time instead of being here. Now, when you do both of those, let go of the past, release the future, you have your both hands. Look at it. This is how your brain becomes. It can now focus. When you bring your hands together, this is the focus and flow moment in your life. This is where you can learn. This is where you can live peacefully. And this is where you can lead yourself and others in your life in a place of peace. Peace is so beautiful. So that's what we want for you. So how else do you come to here and now besides talking to your brain, which is what I just did to bring myself here and now? How else do you do it, Coach Kristen? Is there anything else you do to bring yourself here and now?
I definitely I like to practice yoga and meditation. Those are things that really help me be present in the moment.
Is there one you can share with us? I know we can do yoga here. I'm not gonna, do my downward dog or anything. But could you share with us something that I can share with our viewers and me? I want to bring myself fully here and now. What can I do? What's one thing I can do?
I mean, honestly, like a nice meditation practice I like to do to bring myself here and now is called the 5 sense meditation. But you just focus on 5 things you can see, 4
Beautiful.
things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste.
Okay.
And
Should we
you
do
just, yeah,
So
let's do it.
So everyone watching us, let's focus on 5 things you can see in the environment they're in, right?
Well, I like to visualize a place in nature that I like to go to. It can be
You can
real or
visualize.
imaginary.
Okay, let's visualize five things we're seeing in a place you like to, where you find peace. So Kristen, you said it's forest where you find peace. I find peace by the ocean. So wherever for you, what are the 5 things you can see in this peaceful place? You're seeing what? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I like to visualize a beautiful forest with tall trees. So I can see the tall
Love forest,
trees.
tall trees. Maybe there's birds. Maybe there's different type of trees. Maybe there's some water running. Maybe there's some mushroom growing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a bug. Okay, now you want us to 4 things we can
Here.
hear.
Things you can. Yep.
Here. Okay, perfect. In the forest analogy would be, I can hear the birds. I can even hear the branches moving.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
can hear
your footsteps.
footsteps. I can hear the stream running.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I can hear some bugs making some noise too, because bugs have noises they can make too, right? Some
Yeah.
little sounds. Yeah. Okay. So I heard four sounds. What else? What's next?
3 things you can touch.
3 things I can touch. I can touch the water.
Mm-hmm.
I can touch the
You can feel your clothing on you.
yeah. I can touch the bark on the tree. I love touching the bark. I love hugging the tree, actually. It's so grounding
Mm-hmm.
when you hug it. It's so beautiful. Okay. What else? What's the
And,
next one? 2 things I can smell.
2 things you can smell.
Oh, the forest, the fresh air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe you can smell some herbs like a lavender tree, or
Mm-hmm.
then we can smell the fresh water in the stream.
Yes. And then the last thing is something you can taste
Yeah.
in the forest.
I mean, sometimes you can just say nothing. That's fine too. I taste nothing, or I can taste what you just ate.
Yeah, I've just for some reason I'm tasting sour in my mouth, but I don't know why. But that's what I'm tasting.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. That actually makes it peaceful. Imagine something, and these 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch,
Touch. Yep.
3 things you can smell.
Here.
Oh,
Here.
here, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Love it. Thank you. Because we always do breathing, so I wanted to change it up. So thank you for bringing something new. Thank you. Awesome. But breathing is always beautiful. So let's take 1 breath together. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. And then exhale for 8. Let go everything, all the stress, all the worry, all the pressure, all the negative talk, all the things you always carry. Just let it go and come here and be here and now. So thank you so much. So today's topic is all about why are people all saying, I'm so exhausted, I feel unmotivated, I feel unstuck. What is this? What is this? Is it a lack of energy? Right, Kristen? We're just going to talk about this. Isn't that something you were saying? You heard a lot of people saying. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah. I hear it all the time. And I even catch myself saying it, that, oh, I'm tired, or, this is too much. I can't do it. Or,
Yes.
But I feel like, it's just something we are just too quick to say without really looking at the whole picture.
Yeah.
And we should be more curious about what it is that's making us say that or feel that.
So you're saying get curious about when you say I'm tired, I'm unmotivated, get curious about why, because you're hearing that from a lot of adults and students that you work with, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So when you
So,
say get curious, what do they say when you ask your student, get curious about like why are you unmotivated?
well, one student I work with right now, she was feeling really, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of another student actually. He was feeling really tired because his sleep schedule was different on the weekends. So we had to talk about that. And I asked him, well, why are you sleeping at different times on the weekends? And then he also talked about how Mondays were like the worst day ever because it's like so hard to be on this different schedule on the weekend. And because Mondays are so bad, it made the whole like first 2 days, 3 days of his week really bad. And then Thursday finally got better, and then Friday was the best. So I talked to him about, why are you sleeping at different times? And he says, well, I'm staying up late. I'm like, what are you doing? And he said, well, playing video games. And I said, how late are you staying up till? And he's like, well, it depends. Sometimes it's like midnight, 1, 2, 3. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I'm like, so you're spending a lot of time playing video games. And I'm like, do you, and, instead of like, you know, making him feel bad about that or making him experience any type of shame, it's just, again, being more curious. Like, so when you do go to bed that late, what
Mm-hmm.
time do you wake up? I
Mm.
asked him about that. And he says, oh, like 11, maybe noon. I'm like, well, do you like that? And he's like, no, because then I feel like my whole like Saturday is gone. I don't have, like, I've woken up late. I don't have, and I'm like really hungry. And I'm like, oh, what do you, because like in the school days too, that's another thing. He rushes and he doesn't have time for breakfast.
Mm.
So he talked about how eating was really important to him. He wished he could have like a bigger breakfast.
Yes.
So just by this conversation, he was also realizing what was important to him, that he wanted to have more time on his Saturdays and that he wished he could have time to eat a good, better breakfast. And through that curiosity, that can help really help us. It helped us shift into a better schedule because of the things he wanted, rather than making him feel bad and saying like, no, we got to take these video games away. It's like, well, how can we make sure we have time in your day to do the things you want to do? Because he said he wanted to go outside and ride his scooter and, hang out with friends and go get like bubble tea with them and things like that. So that kind of curiosity was really beautiful and powerful to do that.
So you basically helped him co-create a better schedule for him, co-create it, because rather than saying, video games are bad, you shouldn't be playing those and you shouldn't be staying up, and I don't know why you're staying up and you should be getting off of that, and I would recommend you going to bed at 9 o'clock every single day.
Mm.
So you're not tired, okay? So get to bed today at 9 o'clock. Be sure to be there, okay? That's what I want you to do. Because you can see that you're unmotivated and you're tired all day long. So you don't want that, right? So here I am also telling him in this conversation, I'm telling him the cause of it, right? I'm saying you're tired, so he gets that. But the way I told him was what to do. What to do is not something every child's going to respond very well to. And the generation we have now do not like being told what to do. I didn't either. I'm a far generation away from whoever. I never liked anyone telling me what to do. And if you're one of those kids, it doesn't matter what generation you are, you will not like what to do statements, because I always felt like I was not living my life. Somebody else was telling me what to do, right? Even though they were right. Obviously, in this case, obviously what I just told that child in this situation was fully right. He should go to bed at 9 and he should do all of this. He should do that, right? But we're not co-creating it. The co-creating is the powerful thing that you can do with a student or a child, right? And some people might say that's like negotiating. That's like you're becoming, you're being permissive and you're being so like you're not setting rules and you're not setting. No. Co-creation is not that. Co-creation is an active conversation that turns all of that into him talking it out, because you made him talk out loud and him to recognize the patterns he was having, right?
Mm-hmm.
He also,
Yeah.
in that conversation, realized that I do need certain things in my life. I do miss certain things by not going to bed. I'm missing some of the things I love to do. And I don't want to miss these things I love to do in the daytime. So yeah, I'm playing video game, but then I'm basically screwing myself in the daytime. So next time he does it, he's going to think about it, right? Even if he doesn't do it right away, he'll think about, oh, here I miss again. Oh, that dang video game, right? He might say, you know what? I need to stop playing video game at 12 or something, not until 2 a.m. Like he would make adjustments because he wasn't
Yeah.
told to, right? So I
Right.
love it. I love co-creating with anybody. Co-creation is the beautiful thing to do. So is it really, when we say I'm unmotivated, tired, is it a lack of energy or is it something else underneath that's happening that is making us, because every time we say those, we think it's like lack of energy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Is there or something else happening underneath it? It just looks like lack of energy.
um, I think, yeah. Well, I mean, kind of like my math and science brain come off. It's like I feel like your energy's there, but it can just be misused. And
Yes. Or it could
I
be
think
blocked. It could be blocked.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
Um,
it's misused.
I think yeah, it can be blocked or misused. Um, and depending on the way we use that energy, it can really drain us or it can really elevate us. So, how we use it is really important. And I don't think it's like some of us have less energy than others. It's just this either block or misuse of it.
Yeah, and if you do have lack of energy for real, but that could be a medical reasons too, right? Because we are a living system, biological living system. There could be a medical reason if you're suffering from some
Mm.
kind of illnesses or something's going on and you're taking medication. There's another influence, right? That's a variable, right? It could be happening to not have those energy, right? Sometimes when we are on certain medication, there is no energy coming out of us, right? We're tired all the time too, right? That's different.
Mm.
We're talking about a normal person, not on any medication, just normally living, and then they just feel this lack of, I can't do this, I don't have this energy to do anything. So that is when the energy could be blocked or it is just misused. In the case of the child student that we just talked about, he was just kind of leaking his energy in a different way, right? Because he was not getting the right amount of sleep that his body would need at that age, right? So then, even if he doesn't sleep, it's okay. Maybe for some kids it's okay to not to sleep, but then agitation from that sleep and then not getting up in the morning to miss out a whole bunch of the daytime was giving him some so he was making a choice that did not make him
Yeah.
happy at the end of the day, right? So what does this blocked energy, what are some signs? How could a person say my energy is blocked? Is there any signs that you can think of when you're looking to help them
Um,
identify when the energy is blocked?
I think definitely some signs that your energy is blocked. If you're feeling stuck or maybe overstimulated, like when your attention is scattered, like, you start something and then you do something else. I think that can be definitely a sign that the energy is, there's some kind of block. Um,
Because it comes from so many different systems working together with us, right? So because this is the education we don't have, right? We are a living system with so many systems working together, right? So it could be hormonal that's blocking that. The hormones are not working properly, right? It could be emotionally we are not in the right place to be energy to be flowing, right? And always, that's why we say you have potential, right? When we say we have potential, that potential is an energy is stored. When energy is stored, it is potential, it's waiting to move. When we move, then it becomes kinetic energy, then that's when things can happen, right? So it's sort of, if you were to make that comparison to how we are, it's the same thing. We all have potential, but we do need to be in flow in order to make that movement happen, to make momentum, and then momentum creates acceleration creates achievement, right? So I would say if you're not achieving what you want, that's one sign. You have all these goals, you have all these set out things to do, but you're not getting there. That means you're still in the potential, you're stored energy, you haven't created that momentum for yourself to turn that in, right? So one way to know is, are you achieving everything you want? And then when you don't achieve, what are you doing? Most of us, what we do is we create excuses, right?
yeah,
Or we shift our
definitely.
identity. Or we shift our identity and say, you know what, I'm just lazy. You know what, I'm just overtired. You know what, I just didn't sleep. Is either excuses or these automatic identity starts shifting. then we just become this person who's like, I'm just an unmotivated person. Don't even bother me. Or another person gives us the name, right? Or somebody else in our life says, oh, you're still unmotivated. Why are you always tired? And we just have to hear that a couple of times, and then we create our own story to validate that, and then that's the end of that. Blocks everything else, right?
Yeah.
So the sign is, are you creating what you want to create? That would be what I would be looking at if I was to work with anyone, or if I was helping somebody. I would say, like, you have your own idea what you want to achieve in a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you achieving those? It's not somebody else's list. You have something you want to achieve today. Were you able to achieve that yesterday? And today, are you going to achieve it? Do you see it being achieved? So if you're not achieving it, then you're setting yourself up to it. But then maybe at the end of the day, when you don't achieve it, you're going to say, I'm a failure, maybe too. Don't you think?
Yeah.
So that becomes a vicious cycle.
So I think it's really important. Your identity is not linked to, what you can create or your output, because that can be really dangerous.
So how does movement shift somebody out of the state faster than trying to think the way out of it? So basically what we do at this point is sit down and think about our behavior, is what is called in the normal term, right? I'm not achieving, so let me think about what I'm not achieving. And then we sit here and think about it. Of course, with the same brain, which produced that same identity for me. I'm thinking with my own brain right now that is giving me all these facts about how I'm not a motivated person. I can't get things done. I can't achieve. I'm just tired. I'm unmotivated. But I'm going to sit here and think with my brain to come up with an idea of how can we move out of this. It sounds silly, right? When I'm saying that, doesn't it sound silly?
Yeah, it does.
So how does movement help instead of talking to your brain like that?
Well, I mean, I see firsthand with my students, if I see their energy dip, I just pause what we're doing and I said, we need to move. And I always let them have a choice and kind of decide how they like to move, tie it to what they are interested in. But as soon as we finish moving and I check in with them, they're like, I feel better. Because I think we got the blood flowing. It's going to, their vital organs, their heart, their brain. It's not going it wakes up the whole system. So,
yes. And if we go back to the analogy, right, of molecules, right? Yeah. I mean, if you're potential energy, then you're in a state of a solid state. There's very little movement in solid state, right? So then there is nothing happening in terms of movement creates more kinetic energy, and then that's how you get energized state of energy comes along, right? Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. The movement is like a restart button to like your body stalling out, because it's just like what you said, the solid state, it gets stuck.
Yeah, I love thinking molecules. I just imagine molecules. So I just think like there's like a cube, right? Ice cube. Just imagine an ice cube. It's a solid. It's not moving much. It's got the energy stored at that point in potential, right? But then as we put more heat to it, it expands into liquid. Now that's still okay, but it's not at the highest state of energy. Now, if I boil that water, I just collect it from the ice. Now we're going to have gas coming off and flying off from the molecule, and that state it has lots of energy. Now we just increase. That's why movement creates energy. So yeah, so one way to get out of it is to shift to a movement, any type of movements, right? But not sit with your brain and start thinking about it.
No.
That's the last thing you want to do, is let me think about this situation and I'm going to come up with an idea. So it doesn't have to be a big movement, right? You said even simple exercises can shift you out. And even like sometimes I have some weights close to my desk. I just start doing a couple of curls, just to flow. So that
I just did And you could do like standing yoga too, just balance
Yes.
on one foot. It's great. It's a nice challenge and still gets the blood moving.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Just imagine you want to be like the gas molecules,
yes.
just at high speed, floating
Mm.
around in flow state. Okay, so let's talk about this identity loop that we create. At what point does I am tired or I'm unmotivated turn into this is just who I am?
I think this identity loop can start to become who you are when your day just feels really hard, or you've just got this really low moment. So yeah, I think it's good to be aware of that. Like, you also have to think about how hard was your day, or what's going on and why am I feeling this way. So to just reflect and be aware of that so that you're not creating this identity, this feeling that you are how you feel, which is, you have to understand those are two separate things. Your feelings are not who you are.
Yeah. And that feelings compounds though, because if I say I'm tired one day, right? I feel tired one day, it might just be a feeling, it passes. But then what happened is that at the end of the day, because we're so obsessed with performance and results in our life all the time, what would happen in that day is I would have not done any work. So then if I say the second day, so there's work done, undone, unfinished from the first day. The second day I say, I'm tired. Now I accumulated 2 days worth of nothing done. Because we are driven by performance, productivity, now I got 2 days of nothing done. So what is my brain going to say? You know what? You have 2 days of work. You haven't done anything. What are you doing, right? It's going to start nagging. And then at the third day, you say again, I'm just so tired. I don't have any energy. Now you have 3 days worth of stuff you haven't done. Like this happens with children, right? They don't do their homework or they start skipping on stuff, right? So then what happens is over time, let's do that for 1 month. You have 1 month of stuff you haven't done. Do you think any human is going to turn around and say, I got to finish that 1 month worth of stuff? And they're going to get so energized and excited looking at the 1 month pile of stuff? No, none of us will, right? Because 1 month of unfinished work is a lot of things. So that's when we turn that into identity. I'm just this way. I just don't do it. I just don't do it because I'm not going to go back and finish 1 month of unfinished work. It started off as I'm just tired or I feel tired, right? I feel tired. It was a feeling, but the performance built upon us from a young age. We're conditioned to perform and produce. I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but we don't teach ourselves this is a biological living system. It can feel sometimes tired, and there are reasons for it to feel tired. And let's look at the reasons for it to being tired. Instead, we just keep saying, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. Now I turn into, I am a tired person. That's the end of that. And then unmotivation, I'm unmotivated. I lack any motivation to do any of this stuff. And you know what? I don't even care. Have we seen kids and some adults who say, you know what? I don't even care. Because why? All of that compounded work is never going to get you motivated to go, you know what? I need to do all of this until it will make sense only if you notice that, now I'm blocked. I'm so blocked in this system. Now I need to come down to how do I unblock myself? Then you can go back to the work and you'll finish it. That's what pressure is, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So this is how people start to take on identities like I can't and I'm not motivated. Just leave me alone, right? Some of the kids that right now, some parents come to us saying that my kids have such big emotions, right? That's because compounded failure, if you compound your failure, you're never going to go back to that and say, let me work on my compounded failure here. Let me work on my compounded homework I haven't done for the whole month yet. Let me just go back. I'm so motivated today because I'm just feeling it today, right? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So we have to go back to again, to this person who's been blocked. That's what readiness is all about, is to become aware of your systems that are blocking you. So what is one simple shift someone can make today if they feel stuck or drained? What would you tell them?
I think I would tell them, this might sound a little weird and awkward, but I find it helpful, especially if there is a lot going on in your head and you're thinking about, but to just spend some time in a quiet place. Really spend some time in silence if you can, and listen to your thoughts without judging them. And this is actually something you do in meditation too. You just notice what you're thinking.
Yes.
And once you start to see what you're thinking without being like criticizing and shaming yourself for it, and you realize, wow, this is why I'm being unproductive. It's because I'm thinking so much about this, or this is why I can't move forward in this. It's because I'm blaming it on whatever. So spending some time in just a quiet space and really observing your thoughts.
Yeah, that part is so hard for us though, right? We don't like to be like, really, like, we love to notice about other people. We're so trained to pick up on everything else other people are doing and what's happening around us and in the world. We're okay with that, picking up all of that, right? Consuming things are okay for us, but it's when we need to like really sit with us, then that creates an uncomfortable feeling, because now I don't know what to do here. That's where a lot of the personal development and all the, people, when they say do this or that, you don't need to do anything. That's why people are scared, because then they have to do something about it. When they start noticing, you have to do something about it. In our method, we say don't do anything about it, just notice it, because right away you don't need to fix yourself, because everyone is about, okay, there's something wrong with me, I need to fix it. That's like saying you have 1 month of work, go do it. Not going to work. You need to just sit with it. So thank you for sharing that. Not only go and sit in a quiet place or find a quiet place and sit, but don't do anything about it. Don't then say, yeah, I'm like this, I better go finish that. No, just sit with it. Just sit with it and just keep noticing it and keep noticing where it takes you. And you will notice that it takes you to a very deeper place, in where it might be tied to something else. That motivation might be tied to something else and something else, right? That's where you get the awareness of, why am I not being this way? And it doesn't come from fixing yourself immediately like this. And we don't like delay, right? Everybody wants like, go. Let's go fix yourself. But you can't fix anybody, or you don't even have the ability to fix yourself. You just can notice it. And when you find the loop and the pattern, when you start noticing that loop and the pattern, that brings insight. And then you go, oh, wow. Those insights creates so much meaning for what you're experiencing, right? When you're able to sit with it. Isn't that what happens when you're sitting with it, Kristen? So after you sit, doesn't it bring so much insight into why this is happening for me?
Yes.
Yeah,
a lot of clarity just from
sitting.
Sitting and observing
and noticing. Yeah, beautiful thing to do, but it is hard to do. Try it today. Try today for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or even 2 minutes. Just sit by yourself and notice, what's going on? Why do I feel like I have no energy? Why am I saying I'm tired all the time? Just think about those things, right? And see what comes up. And then it is a great thing to teach your children too, and students too. Just think about it. Don't tell them, get your work done. It's not going to work, I can tell you. Just get your work done. Nope. No, not when they're blocked, right?
Right.
This doesn't work that way. And this doesn't mean we don't have expectations for kids. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that we're getting them off the hook. It doesn't mean any of that. Because until the person recognizes they're in a loop of I try, I fail, I try, I fail, I try, I fail, and I don't care, right? I try, I fail, I don't care. Isn't that the story?
Right.
So when do we interrupt the story? We have to interrupt that story. I try, I fail, I give up. I fail, I give up. I try, I fail, I give up. We need to interrupt in one part of that story, that loop. I have to interrupt at one point. So only way to interrupt it is not by saying do more. You better get to work. Finish that. No, because that doesn't interrupt the loop. That just creates pressure to that loop. But if we allow to sit with it and let me witness my loop and go, you know what? I do try. I do then say, I do fail it for some reason. And then I just give up all the time. Like I'm trying and this has been my pattern. Oh, it's interesting to see this pattern. Just that alone brings so much clarity to the next step that needs to happen. And that step is going to be different for each person. It's not same. So don't say it happened to me like this, do it this way. No, you don't tell the person like that. That's bad coaching, right? It's, there's so many ways that people are coaching. It's such a bad way to coach is because you don't tell the person this is how you need to feel it. That's how you felt it. That's great. Have you given them space? Like you have to give them the space for them to identify the loop and see what the next step is for them. That's what a great coach does.
Yeah. Every kid's different. It's not
No,
a
even
cookie cutter method.
So if someone is listening right now and thinking, this is me, what do you want them to understand? They're saying, oh, that's me. I have 1 month of work and I haven't done yet. And I'm calling myself, I'm tired. Now I'm just that person. I'm unmotivated. I lack motivation. I can't focus. What do you want them to understand?
I think it's important for parents, or the child as well, to feel that there's something wrong with them, like they just need to be fixed or something. I think that's a wrong way to think about it. I think it's really important that you just pause. I've been saying it right now, whether if you can just meditate or sit in some quiet area and really be curious, because you'll start to see a pattern, and then just try one small shift. So can I share a story? My daughter's, in the morning, it can be a little stressful. We're trying to get ready, get to school on time. And the last few mornings, we were getting to school late, and I was so frustrated. And it's just like, I wanted to fix it and be like, okay, tell them this is the schedule. We're going to do this then and this. And then
it worked, right? The next morning,
I knew it wouldn't work.
They were out the door before you did.
So I, as a coach, I know, let's just pause and be curious. So I asked them individually, what do you want? What's important to you to get done in the morning? And then through that conversation, it was so beautiful. They talked about obviously all the self-care stuff, but then my daughter shared with me how she actually wants to read and get her homework done. My other daughter wants to play with her sister. So we talked about all this, and through this guided discussion, we were able to figure out how we can get all these things done, but still make sure that we need to leave at a certain time so that we have time to walk to school. So I think, again, when you can just pause and be curious and just try one thing to make sure things can shift in a better direction, that is enough to start the process, and you don't have to feel like you have to do everything all at once.
No. And sometimes kids don't know what 5 minutes, 5 minute, they know by mean, like you'd set 5 minutes, but I don't think they know the length of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What does that feel
Yeah.
like? 5 minutes. It's also nice to put a clock or something in front of them and say, this is 5 minutes feels like. You know, that way, like when you say we have 5 minutes, they have a memory of what that 5 minutes feels like. I don't think kids really get the minute. We think they. I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
we don't even know what 5 minutes feels like. Right? It just goes. Sometimes it goes fast, and sometimes the 5 minutes is 5 minutes. Right?
Right.
In some situations. So
Yeah.
I think it's important that clock is something that we have not been teaching our kids how to read even clocks, right? It has become not a thing anymore, but it's really good to feel, okay, let's feel what 5 minutes feels like in quiet. And that quietness is what the quietness we just talked about, right? In that quietness, you can, as you're teaching them, you can do your meditation and noticing. So you can use it as your tool to teach them. It's important. And then also, how many of us ever showed them how much time does it take to walk from home to school? Sometimes we just say, we got to go, we're late. If it takes 10 minutes, let them control the clock and say, if it takes 10 minutes, make them work backward and say, when do we need to leave the house if it takes 10 minutes to walk? Unless you want to walk fast, you can take 8 minutes and we can leave at this time. So do you want to walk slow or you want to walk fast or do you want to run? Which one are we doing?
Right.
So I think talking about the clock is a really good conversation and co-creation as well, along with what you said, sitting and talking and coming up with all the things that they were trying to and noticing, right? It's also about noticing. Time is also noticing. You have to notice
Yeah.
the time. I think that education kind of is missing, and that feeling of time is different than knowing the time. I
Yeah,
find it.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's funny. I did ask my daughter that. I said, okay, how long does it take you to brush your teeth? And she's like, 2 minutes. Actually, because there is a 2-minute timer on our toothbrush, so she knew that. But then she's like, oh, well, how long will it take to eat breakfast? 3 minutes. I'm
That
like,
true? No.
can you really eat breakfast in 3 minutes? And she's like, no, maybe like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, that sounds more accurate. So yeah, talking through time, especially with the younger kids, because
Yes. I think there's they don't understand it yet. So it's good conversation. It's a great conversation. And that's when you should really playfully get them to read the clock, the actual clock with the hands moving and with the numbers,
yes, not a digital.
not the digital. I think it's a good skill because the clock has so many meanings besides just being a clock, right? It's the north and the south and everything. It's the circle of 360, and then it comes the times table, like so many meanings behind the clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a clock. Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. So important to make those little shifts and just notice. The first step is just beautifully notice what's going on and be curious. That's the message, right?
Yep.
So something that I want to leave you guys with is that energy isn't something you wait for. You don't just wait for energy. It's something you create by shifting your state. Right? It's something that you can create by shifting your state. So that's why the movement helped. And if you then go back to my analogy of the particles, right? Solid state to liquid state to gas state, they're changing state. And they're changing by moving faster. So think of that whenever you're feeling a low energy. How fast am I moving in this state, right? So that helps as well. And sometimes the smallest movement changes everything. Smallest things you can do to shift your energy. So I wanted to leave you with this. If you've been telling yourself you're tired, unmotivated, or stuck, what we want, what Kristen's message was, and my message is that pause. I know it's hard. That's not how we are been taught. It's when we say all those things, we need to move fast, right? No. Here, you're going to pause and you're going to ask yourself, Is my energy really gone or is it just blocked? That's the better question to ask. Is my energy actually gone, or do I not have it, or is it just blocked? Because if it's blocked, guess what? It can move. You can move it
Mm-hmm.
by
That's
shifting
right.
the state that we talked about, right? And when it moves, you move too, and you can make progress. But that's not the time to get to where you start blaming yourself for not being motivated person, right? Motivation is not where you started. Motivation is a byproduct of you unblocking yourself, right, Kristen? It's motivation is not a starting point. It's a result. It's the end. It's the output is motivation. But our culture, our society talks about motivation as is the starting point. I don't get up
Mm-hmm.
every morning motivated. Do you? No.
No.
I have the energy moving so that I feel motivated, right? The energy is unblocked, so it's creating me to be motivated. It's the energy. If it's blocked, is when you. But we talk it as we can create motivation out of nowhere, but it's not true. So thank you, Kristen, for being here. Thank you, all of you, for watching. If you have any questions, if you have anything to say to us, please put it in the comments. We love the comments. And if you don't want to put it into the comments, DM me on any of these platforms. I will answer your question because we love conversation. And it's such an encouragement when you are commenting. Because if you don't comment, I don't know what you're thinking. And I don't want me or Kristen or our other coaches just to talk to ourselves. We want to talk to you. So we would appreciate if you can really put comments. And also if you think something we're saying doesn't make sense, also put that in the comment too, because we love a different perspective, right, Kristen?
Yes. Love to hear from you all.
Yes. Kristen is an amazing coach. She also specializes in math. She calls her business Infinity Math Coaching. And infinity is where life goes, right? Everything is infinite, right? So thank you, Kristen, for going
Thank
deep
you.
on this topic with me. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Just make small shift in your state and watch what changes. Just notice what changes, right? That's
Absolutely.
Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.